What a week. What a week. What a couple of days. What a 48 hours. 72 hours maybe? At the most? What a month the last 3 days have been. My God, ups and downs, strikes and gutters, victories and defeats. I was so high on the night of the Georgia election. I was riding high on positive energy. I was like, it's our game to lose at this point. Come on, America, we got this. Let's put things back together now. I guess we weren't all on the same page with that one. I mean, I don't like it when people say, I wasn't surprised. It's not like I wasn't surprised. There's no way. There's no way that you knew exactly what was going to happen. We all knew that there was a possibility that what has happened over the last 2 days was possible, but nobody was like, I bet my life savings that there's going to be a violent, to even call it a coup gives it too much credit, but like a violent insurrection at the Capitol building of entitled, privileged, whiny people who lost an election and wanted a do-over, wanted a mulligan for their lost election. Nobody would have said, I bet that's going to happen over everything else. I knew it was going to get crazy. That's fine. But nobody really thought, and I guess it's naive of us to think like, well, just because it's, a new year, it's 2021, that means that everything's going to go back to normal. We thought 2020 was crazy, but I don't remember what happened within the first week of 2020, anything being as crazy as this. So buckle up, everybody. 21 is going to be crazy. Got a feeling 21 is gonna be a good year. I don't think so. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting year. It's going to be a year for the record books, I suppose, for the history books, like every other year. But man, who would have thought that the dude you bought Molly from at Burning Man would have been standing in the middle of the Senate, banging the gavel at the same place where the vice president was minutes before. Not me. I didn't think that was going to happen. And neither did you. Neither did you. Crazy world. Proof there is no God, because God wouldn't be this creative. All right. I'll back up there. Let's look at some comments. We all need a good laugh anyways. We all need something to, a reason to congregate, to take a communal deep breath, and to move into the weekend with a renewed sense of hope and imagination and wonder of the beauty of all things in this universe, rather than to be glued to your prospective news organizations who tell you what you want to hear so that you can be all riled up and angry while drinking your Chardonnay. Let's see. So Dave Wallace was like, how's the revolution going for y'all? And Melissa Moore says, revolution, are you referring to the U.S. president setting up a coup on our Congress? Just another day in America, I suppose. Oh, this crazy train. My mom wants me to play Judgment Day Blues. Maybe after we finish this album. Today is all about will lead us to victory. And that, I feel like we need this more than ever right now. This was the first official album that came out with this project, and came out in 2012. I can't remember the exact date. On Bandcamp, I just put January 1st because I didn't remember when the actual date was. And it was recorded at Digi Design in Daly City, which I think isn't even around anymore, but it's basically the company that made Pro Tools back then. And also recorded at Gulch Alley Music Studio, which is in Polk Gulch in San Francisco, Nob Hill area. And was engineered by Tara Navarro and Jesse Ray Smith. And basically, this album was recorded around and before the time that the band was even formed. So most of the instruments on this album I'm doing myself, except for the drums. There's some bass done by John Lydon, and Jack Carr is doing the drums. And then on a few of these songs, I believe Devin McClive is on here, Doug Pett on the saxophone, and that might be it, actually. I don't know if Ari Daly's singing on this. Actually, you know what? Let's just open this up and find out. Let's see. Oh yeah, Hanako Hiersman is violin on this album. She was never actually in the band, but she was my housemate at the time, and she played violin, and I didn't know anybody that played violin, and so she's on this album doing all the violin parts, and I forgot about that. Yeah, she was great. Yeah. I haven't looked in here in a long time. Oop. All right, let's get back to the comments before we begin here. Stephanie Lee seconds my mom's request for Judgment Day Blues and also the Fuck Donald Trump song. Spencer, hands up, who's been storming the Capitol? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, I sure hope nobody did. I do know some people that recognize some of their high school classmates in the crowd, which is, I could see some of my high school classmates actually being there. I wouldn't be surprised if there were a few. I got some classmates that have delved deep into the QAnon stuff. Daniel Woolsey, I kept waiting for Gerard Butler to show up and take care of the rioters. I feel like a lot of people really needed this, needed today. I'm feeling fantastic now that we're here, that I don't have to focus on the news for a couple hours. We can focus on music and talking about what's going on without necessarily, I don't know, it feels good to be in this group right now. I'm really happy to be here. Tara is asking, is the cover a shot of a motel near HSU in Arcata? Yes, it is. The story of this photo was in, I guess it was 2011 or 2012. We played a show at, was it at Humbrew's? Must have been at Humbrew's. Yeah, I guess, wait, no, it wasn't at Humbrew's. Where was it? Huh. It must have been, but I don't think it was, but it must have been. It must have been, yeah. But So we played a show there somewhere, and we were put up in this hotel, which was the Motel Fairwinds in Arcata. And we ended up partying over at, what was that other bar with the funny name? I can't remember. This was years ago. And we ended up having a crazy night. Partied our asses off, had a super fun time, ended up at the hotel. Party didn't end there. And when we left the next day, I snagged this picture with my phone on our way out as the clouds were accumulating, and it just, this kind of sense of, the destruction that we had wrought upon Arcata the night before. I felt like it was just, I don't know, I liked the imagery of it, and it documented a really, really fun night in Arcata. And so when it came time to choose the photo for the album, I was like, well, this show was one worth remembering, so that's why it became the cover of the album. So, any other questions about the album? I'm happy to answer. Oh, we got Todd Bender in here. We got Cormac, we got Mike and Julie, we got Stephanie Lee, Spencer, Kiki, Tyler, Y'all Kada. Oh, man. We got Grace, we got Melissa, Sanaa, Jason, Aaron. Hey, everybody. We got Carrie, Robin. My Aunt Patty's here, my dad's here, my mom's here, Genevieve. Hey, everybody. No, not the Alibi, the one that was right next to it. It was like, it was like, not like, it was like with a J. The bar was with a J in Arcata that we went to afterwards. Hello, Wayne from Utah. Amber's here. So the first song on this album, no, not Toby and Jax, not Sidelines. It was like Jackalopes, but it's not Jackalopes. It's like it was a pun of a word. What the hell was the name of that bar? And it was a venue too. I can't remember. Like Lollapalooza? No. Start naming bars from Arcata. I think it's closed now, actually. I mean, and it was right in the square. Yeah, Devin. Devin remembers how much she doesn't remember from that night because, yes, we did have to carry Devin back to the hotel because of how much fun she had in particular. Jambalaya, that was it. Yes. Yes, we partied there, and there was a Talking Heads cover band that was playing, and it was super fun. So, let me get back on track here. So the first song on this album is Down Below. This one was recorded at Gulch Alley. This is one where we have everybody in the band playing. And let's get into it. I saw through the smoke The roof began to splinter, I am burning from the inside out. My skin begins to blister, my bones will turn to dust, and you'll get away just fine. But I promise I'll come back and haunt you till the end of time. I am not an evil man, but sources say that I was cursed the day I was born. But I am not so much a man these days, rather just a ghost who's growing old. You can take away his women, you can take away his weapons, you can take away his whiskey, you can bury him in prison, but you can't take away that fire that seems to burn from deep within. When it's the only thing he's got, a man will wear it on his skin. And so now on my dying day, I'll stand to write the devil's name upon my door. When I get to the gates of hell, send someone up so they can take me down below. Ooh, oh, 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 father was no man of God, he never heard his word. But he sat me down at a young tender age and he said to me, now son, you can't just get down your knees and expect to be forgiven. You won't cock this son of a bitch to think you've got a place in heaven. And so now on my dying day, be a sinner till I fall lifeless on the floor. When I get to the gates of hell, send someone up so they can take me down below. When I get to the gates of hell, send someone up so they can take me down below. Down below. Recorded at Gulch Alley back in 2011, and was one of the 3 songs that was recorded at Gulch Alley. This next song was recorded at Digi Design Studios. They had this room that was basically like a mock-up of a studio. Like they had their own studio to test out their own gear. And so the people that worked there that were like the testers would go in there and record stuff to make sure that everything, that there were no bugs and no kinks that needed to get worked out. And so they would record people there for free. And I knew one of the testers, and so she let me record my album in there for free. And had she not been able to do that for me, this album never would have been created because I was broke. So huge thanks to Tara Navarro for that. Sometimes she's in the chat here. And this next song was written up in the mountains above Covelo, California, in the Yola Mountains, in a off-the-grid community called the Hinterlands that I spent a fair amount of time at in my youth, my adult youth. And I was a part of we referred to ourselves less as a band and more of a traveling road show, a traveling spectacular called The Moon Landing of Our Generation. And the Moon Landing of Our Generation was made up of me playing my songs, Ariella Daly, having a baby, I think, in like the next, like maybe now, I don't know, sometime very, very soon having a baby. But she played piano and sang her own songs. We had Logan Jensen, who was also a songwriter and a singer, and then we had Shimmy Boyle, who would recite poetry. And we would all congregate together at the end of this set and sing my songs together, and they would harmonize with me. And that was the very beginning of what would eventually become the Functional Alcoholics, and Ariella Daly became our singer aside me in the very beginning. And she was in the band until about 2015. And that was the moon landing of our generation. So there was one weekend, we were in the hinterlands, and we were playing a show down at the library there. They would clear out the library and have shows in there from time to time. And so we brought our spectacular to their library in town. But we were up in the hinterlands, staying there for a few days beforehand. And I had picked up my friend's banjo, and I was fiddling around on it, and I knew a little bit of banjo at the time, and I had written this riff that I could grab the banjo right now. It's probably way out of tune, but I can show you the riff at least. These strings need to be changed. It's good enough for now. But I was messing around with this riff in D. Going. And we started kind of messing with this song for a while, and we sat in the sun that afternoon and we wrote Come and Go. And we performed it, I believe, that night. Like, we had the lyrics out and told them that we had written this song and we wanted to perform it for everybody, and so we performed the song that night. And then later on down the road, that song went on, "The Sam Chase Will Lead Us to Victory." What does Nico want? Nico's texting me right now. Not much. But now I'm going to play this song that I wrote for you guys in the hinterlands above Covelo, California, one afternoon many, many years ago. Oh, Amber, thank you for bringing that up. If it's not in the, is it not in the whatchamacallit here, the video, yeah, wait, hold on a second. Quiet, Sam. Yeah, the tip boot's right here. It's in the description of the video. You could, my Venmo or my PayPal. So. And please, give a tip. If you have the money. This is paying my bills here, saving up to get a new mic that's going to make me sound even better, and a new preamp that's going to make the mic sound even better, that in turn will make me sound better. So if you got any money to give for a non-traveling singer-songwriter, please throw it in the tip. So here's Come and Go. Oh, every single step we're on is soon to be another gone away. Each moment that you think will last is soon to be another pass behind. Open up and find the Open up and you will find that this disguise ain't gonna hide your way home. And even while you're sitting still, the spinning will repel you down the road. They come and go, they come and go. Oh, time is such a bitch, 'cause when you give them just an inch, he takes a mile. And you're sitting stranded all alone, hungry, cold, and bound for home, like a horse with a belly full of stones. And each face you see is gonna be a stranger cut from the cloth that you have sewn. Standing there with your thumb, praying someone out there won't leave you in the road. They come and go, they come and go. From the mountains to the sea and all the places in between, and now I know there are creatures in the deep and so much ground beneath my feet, and there is sky above my head I won't see until I'm dead. And when the heavens open up to me, I'll shoot beyond the stars and see the answers to all space and time, and still have so much more to find. All will be gone and you'll be here to take the path I took so long ago. You'll come and go, you'll come and go. Come and go. Never played that one live with the band, ever. I feel like it's so banjo heavy that I just never really tried to put it together with the band or kind of recreate it on guitars and stuff. But I would love to do it eventually. I think that'd be a lot of fun to kind of breathe new life into it. Yeah, so here, you know what? I'll put the Venmo and the PayPal up here on the screen. I took it down a long time ago because I felt like it was unnecessary, but there we go. So if you're curious about Venmo, it's right there at SamChase1, PayPal, paypal.me/thesamchase. You can also find those things in the description of the video, which is right underneath the video here on YouTube. This next song is my only children's song I think I've ever written. And I always give the disclaimer that it's not really meant for kids. It sounds like a children's song, but I don't think that you're supposed to teach your children to be so xenophobic as I tend to be in this song. This was a song just to kind of make me feel better, just kind of make a little fun of myself, and I didn't think much of this song one way or the other, and I kind of had it in my back pocket for a while, and around New Year's one year, I know it was New Year's because I was in the Mojave Desert with a bunch of my friends. For many, many, many years in a row, I have gone out to the Mojave Desert for New Year's. Not in a row, I guess, but many, many of my adult New Year's have been spent in the middle of the Mojave Desert, sandwiched between the Granite Mountains and the Kelso Dunes, to bring in the new year. And I go out there with a bunch of my friends, and we hang out, watch epic sunsets atop giant mountainous dunes, drink a lot, sit around fires a lot, because it's very cold. And sing songs and sometimes get busted by the BLM park rangers out there for being too noisy or too drunk or too drugged up on something or too just not behaving in the ways in which they would like us to behave, perhaps. But anyway, so I had this song in my back pocket. And there was one day we were all kind of sitting around in the middle of the day in the Mojave Desert, passing the guitar around, and so I brought my the guitar came to me, and I pulled this song out. And I remember I played it, made my friends giggle a little bit, and then afterwards, this girl who was there, who has never given me a compliment in my life, and I never expected her to ever give me a compliment, one of those types of people, leaned over to me and she was like, "Did you write that song?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "That's a really good song." And it just made me feel so good, because she's not the type of person that would throw out a compliment. She definitely, if you got a compliment from her, you really beyond earned it. And so that's when I knew that maybe this song had legs. Never said it about any of my other songs, just this one. And I love it. So this song is called "Everyone is Crazy But Me." There are so many people on my street. There are so many people on my street. There are so many people who I have yet to meet. There are so many people on my street. And there are so many people in my town. There are so many people in my town. There are so many people who I have to walk around. And there are so many people in my town. And there are so many people in my state. There are so many people in my state. And there are so many people to whom I can't relate. And there are so many people in my state. There are so many people in this world. There are so many people in this world. There are so many people whom I can't understand a word. And there are so many people in this world. And there are so many people in my thoughts. There are so many people in my thoughts. And there are so many people, and I'm convinced they're all robots. And oh, there's so many people in my thoughts, in this world, in my state, in my town, and on my street. And all of them are crazy, but me. When we used to end that song live, our old bass player John would go, ooh, ooh, ooh. Killed every time when he would do that. Oh, you liked my whistle. Thanks. Not my strongest instrument, but I got it in the back pocket of my mouth. Trump attorney Sidney Powell has been sued for defamation for $1.3 billion earlier Friday for spreading misinformation about Dominion voting systems. I don't know Sidney Powell very much, but I don't think he has the money. And I don't think Donald Trump is going to loan him that money. Let's look at some comments here. I saw some nice things about the album. Is that a new thing, Jason, that Trump's Twitter is permanently suspended? Because I heard that suspension was lifted yesterday. But if it is now permanently suspended, who knows what permanent means anymore. But that would be nice. Amber, this album helped me through one of the toughest times of my life. I took it on a solo, soul-searching road trip, the only CD I took with me, and listened to it on repeat for days. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Amber. I remember you telling me about that years ago, and it made me feel really special. I'm so glad that in some way I could be there for you during that transformative time. Melissa Moore, not to bring the news up again, but it's hilarious. My local news has been busting people all day for being there. They even interviewed people and they admitted it. The day these chumps don't wear a mask. I know, you would think if you're violent insurrectionists live streaming left and right your violent criminal insurrection, you better win, because if you don't, the FBI is coming for you. These white people think they can get away with everything. If I was there, which you really would have to stretch your imagination to imagine me even wanting to be there at all, but I'd wear a mask. I'd wear a mask of somebody else's face. I guess you have to be a certain amount of dumb to do that in the first place. And so wearing a mask requires a certain amount of forethought and kind of general critical thinking and intelligence to be able to know, I want to wear that mask. I don't want to catch COVID or go to prison. You all see that video on YouTube? It was called Elizabeth Was Not Ready for the Revolution. And it was that woman who had been maced, and she was, being carried out of the Capitol by a friend, and a person was videotaping her and said, "What happened?" She was like, "They maced me. I walked up, I got like a foot in the door, and then they maced me." And then he was like, what's your name? And she was like, "I'm Elizabeth, and I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee." And he was like, "So what were you doing in there?" And she was like, "We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution." And I was just thinking to myself, this is like children that just need to tucker themselves out. They're throwing a fit, and they need to tucker themselves out before they go to bed. But when children grow up, real horrible things can happen when you throw a fit. And I don't know, it's just, if it was an actual revolution, she'd be dead. She wouldn't have just been maced on the steps of the Capitol. It's like, what's their end game? I don't know. We can get back to the album here. I could talk about this for hours. I have talked about this for hours. I'm tired of talking about it, but I can't help myself. Let me get back to reading some things. Diego requests all my favorite scars. Diego, we are doing the entire album, the first official album. These Sam Chase will lead us to victory. We're going song by song through this album. So we won't get to that song today. But thanks for the request. Oh, Twitter just banned Trump permanently. Good. Part of me will miss it. A tiny part. I know it's horrible. A teeny tiny part of me will miss his crazy tweets. And I do love to witness a good meltdown, and I feel like we're right on the precipice of a wonderful meltdown. But I understand that there are real ramifications from the most powerful man in the world having a meltdown on Twitter. So I understand. I really wanted to see that meltdown, though. Oh yeah, and there was another guy there that wore his work badge around his neck. He was like one of the main dudes next to whatever that white Viking guy was. Yeah. Oh, hey.
Sam.
Hey, everybody, it's my dad.
Hey, everybody. So, on this momentous day in our...
Wait, here, let me move the camera up. Wait, you gotta come down.
Okay.
Here, take a seat.
All right. So on this momentous day in our country, this dark day, I was harking back to your showing the bust that your mother gave you of Lincoln, and how much you appreciate it. And she said because you appreciate Lincoln so much.
You're talking to the mic a little more.
And the fact is that your grandmother, my mother-in-law, gave me this. And so I thought it fitting that you have it, and in his lap, in Abe Lincoln's lap, is the first page of the Gettysburg Address, which begins, and here is printed out, 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. And so I thought it only fitting that you now have this compliment your bust, and there it is. So that's it.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah. Geez, you got nice guitars there.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm enjoying the show.
Oh, well, thanks.
Okay.
Well, get out of here before I give you COVID.
Okay.
Before I riddle you with COVID.
I have my mask. You know.
That's a cool mask.
Yeah.
That's
See
nice.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks.
Bye-bye.
What what a wonderful surprise.
Enjoy.
All right, thanks. Well, now I've just so much Lincoln stuff. I'll give this a good home right next to the to this Lincoln. Donald Trump's favorite president, by the way. It's my only audience right here. Now I have some comments to read. All right. What a great surprise that was. Man, I missed a lot of comments. I'm Kate Hillhouse. You mean the New Age men's rights activist shaman dude looking like he belonged in a widespread panic show? Yes, or as I like to call him, Austin Quattlebaum.
Hi, I'm Austin Quattlebaum, formerly unemployed banjo player and now CEO of Squattles.
We won't do the whole thing. Badge guy got fired, that's good to know. And I'll let everybody say hi to my dad. Huh. A lot of huzzahs. Man, it's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood where special guests show up. Who's our next guest? Nobody. No more guests. I'm riddled with COVID. Riddled, absolutely riddled with it. As wonderful as a surprise that was. Lincoln doesn't do well in the audience. Historically, no. All right, let's get back to it. I don't actually have COVID. But the next song on this album, The Sam Chase Will Lead Us to Victory, which is for sale on CD if you guys want to buy it. If you need like an expensive coaster or something, or if you have an old car. The Sam Chase Will Lead Us to Victory is for sale. I think Amber was saying something along the lines of you should get it on vinyl. It still stands. If we get to 200 Patreon patrons, I don't know who here is not a Patreon patron yet. If we get to 200 Patreon patrons, actually, you know what? I'm going to put it, I think that's way too far off a goal. If we get to 150 Patreon patrons, that means if just half of you get a friend to sign up, at least at the $10 level, well, whatever, at the $5 level, 150 patrons, I'm going to get another run, a last final run of 250 vinyls of The Sam Chase Will Never Die. So, if we get to 150, we get vinyl of These Sam Chase Will Never Die. If we get to 200, we'll do These Sam Chase Will Lead Us to Victory. This next song is Bastards and Kin. And this song was written from a photograph that was taken at Burning Man one year and uploaded to Facebook. And it was a photograph of me and a few friends walking off into the desert, unplanned photograph of us just walking off into the dust. And it was a really cool, kind of epic photograph. And a buddy of mine commented on the photo on Facebook saying, brothers, motherfuckers, bastards, and kin. And I went, holy shit, that's a really good line. That needs to be a song. And he was like, write it. And so I said, hold on. Came back a couple hours later with this song. Sent it out. We are brothers, motherfuckers, we are bastards and kin, angels and kings. We're orphans exposing ourselves to the ones we call our makers and the dangers within. Under the skin, we are more than we think, but we are falling like none of us have wings. We are falling every moment that we live. It's a long haul where no one ever wins. 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 We are the eyes peeking through cracks and the voices through the walls. Footsteps in the halls, we're turning on ourselves. We are thrown to the wolves, but the wolves are just men hiding under furs. We're afraid of being seen, but we are falling like none of us have wings. And we are falling every moment that we live. It's a long haul where no one ever wins. 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 Whoa. Why didn't anybody give us any warning? We thought we had a strong wind blowing in our favor. We should have known that we should never think our strength would last forever. But no one really gave it any thought. We are brothers, motherfuckers, we are bastards and kin. We feel it in our bones. Angels living in sin. We may be pieces of the whole, but we are still full of holes. Our edges are still sharp, but our hearts no longer full. And we are falling like none of us have wings. And we are falling every moment that we live. Oh, it's a long haul where no one ever wins. Oh, where no one ever wins. where no one ever wins, where no one ever wins, oh, where no one ever wins, 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 where no one ever wins. That song was written from a photograph from Burning Man that was uploaded to Facebook. This next song, I should have a better story, but I can't remember why I wrote it, where I wrote it, or when I wrote it. I can't remember for the life of me. I probably wrote it some morning in my bedroom, sitting at my desk. Maybe it was late at night. Actually, I feel like there's a video of me shortly after writing this song, playing it in my bedroom on the The Sam Chase and the Untraditional Facebook page. Tuning party here. Not quite perfectly in tune. This song is called Escape Artist. I wonder if there was a sound when John Henry hit the ground and died on that long and fateful day. Maybe a rustle of the wind, but the people who came to see him probably couldn't think of anything to say. Oh, I could pack my bags today and move somewhere far away, but a man cannot escape what is within. I could go anywhere in this great wide country, but I'll never escape this state that I'm in. You know, people talk a lot 'cause they have not figured out whether people should be let inside their head. But I should probably watch my tongue, because I'm almost guilty of doing that exact same thing that I just said. Oh, I could pack my bags today and move somewhere far away, but a man cannot escape what is within. I could go anywhere in this great wide country, but I'll never escape this state that I'm in. Oh, I can hear myself. I guess Kiki's listening in the other room. We had so much time to find what we wanted from our lives. We figured we could roam the earth and it appeared. But then everything we owned became what we called our home, and then our dreams our years. Wonder if there was a sound when John Henry laid his hammer down and died on that long and fateful day. Maybe a rustle of the wind. People who came to see him probably couldn't think of anything to say. But that's how I'd rather go at the end of some big show, before the lights fade out into my older years. And the crowd is roaring loud when my body hits the ground, and then the silence echoes louder than the cheers. Oh, I could pack my bags today and move somewhere far away, but a man cannot escape what is within. I could go anywhere in this great wide country, but I'll never escape this state that I'm in. Oh, I could pack my bags today and move somewhere far away, but a man cannot escape what is within. And I could go anywhere in this great wide country, but I'll never escape this state that I'm in. Another perk to joining Patreon. I saw Amber, you joined Patreon. Awesome. Welcome to the family. Another perk to joining Patreon is this whole last week, while preparing for this show, I've also been recording all of the songs that I wrote during 2020, which is last week's show. I played all those songs for you. So I've been recording those songs, and I'm going to put out an album to all my Patreon followers called 2020, The Year That Wasn't. And so everybody's going to get that album digitally, and then I will have, I'll have physical copies as well made. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have physical copies as well, and those are going to be sent to everybody who is at the $10 and up mark on Patreon. So another reason to join Patreon. Nobody else will be getting that album unless you ask really nicely. One song left to record, and once that's recorded, I have to get it mastered. I'm probably gonna get it mastered relatively quickly so that I can get this album out to you guys as quickly as possible. Recorded it all here at home. It's mostly solo. I do add some instruments, and I have like some recordings that I've already done during 2020 that, you know, like Chandra or somebody will have laid down some parts, and I'll keep some of those parts in there. But I want to save like the actual like full-blown songs that I've recorded for the next album. So this will be more of a stripped-down album of songs that I wrote during 2020. Spencer brings up, or reminds me that to tell you guys that I went live the other day, testing out a new thing that I'll be doing from time to time on Patreon, which is live recording and mixing of songs that I've been recording. So I pulled up a bunch of songs and I laid down some mandolin on parts and talked. There was maybe like 10 of us at the most for a few hours, just kind of hanging out and recording. And I think I might do more of that. It was really fun. I had my my software, Logic Pro, was up on the screen, and I was down in the corner. You could see me, and you could see what I was doing on the computer while I was recording. It was really cool. So stay tuned for more of that, because that was fun. I really enjoyed that. And I got a lot of work done on these songs, too. Moving on, though. I might need a break, like a halfway intermission. How about after this song? Take a short intermission. This song was written very long ago, when I was in a relationship that was tense, and there were many, many times where I thought perhaps the relationship was coming to a close, and then things would magically pop back into place. It wasn't a horrible relationship. It wasn't a very sustainable relationship. Hence why it ended. And this song came from it, where I was questioning whether or not this relationship was coming to a close or not. Going back to the recording session live stream, yes, it is still on the Patreon. All the videos, all the live streams that we've done, you can access very easily on the Patreon. Just go back to the feed of posts and scroll down just a little bit. I don't post very much other than the live streams, so it'll be pretty easy to find. It's probably right under the one that you're watching right now. Oh, I've a right mind to think that this time it's over. Oh, I've a right mind to think that this time it's done. Oh yeah, but every single time I think I'm in my right mind, you come back around and make everything fine. So I have a right mind to think that this time I'm wrong. When I'm sad the sun is setting, we're glad the night has come. When my cup is overflowing, you're always looking for a bigger cup. And when I'm moving out towards the city, you are moving out towards the hills. I just hope that someday we can agree on some place where we can meet up in the middle. Oh, I have a right mind to think that this time it's over. Oh, I have a right mind to think that this time it's done. Oh yeah, but every single time I think I'm in my right mind, you come back around and make everything fine. So I have a right mind to think that this time I'm wrong. When you shake it all about, you were shaking up my heart, you were shaking me to the core. My mind is in the gutter, but my feet are lifting off the floor. Oh, and I know that someday that these feelings will go away, but these suspicions still seem to grow. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions about all my disillusions. I should just go with the flow. I have a right mind to think that this time it's over. right mind to think that this time it's done. Oh yeah, but every single time I think I'm in my right mind, you come back around and make everything fine. So I have a right mind to think that this time I'm wrong. Whoa. I let that motor run, waiting for you to come out of the rain. You stop to pause so you can sharpen your claws. This is the eye of the hurricane. You say we're about to go through hell, but I think this time we're gonna be okay. Oh, I have a right mind to think that this time it's over. Oh, I have a right mind to think that this time is done. Oh yeah, but every single time I think I'm in my right mind, you will come back around and make everything fine. So I have a right mind to think that this time I was wrong. So I have a right mind to think that this time I was wrong. Whoa. Yeah, I have a right mind to think that this time I was wrong. Oh, I have a right mind to think this time I was wrong. Yeah. And we're halfway through the album. And I'm going to take a short intermission. I'm going to adjust my lighting setup here because the sun is going down. So I'm going to let a little bit more light into these windows. And I'll be right back. But I'll play you a little, we'll do, here, you know what? We all got problems, right? I got problems, but they don't amount to much. They may be small compared to others, but they're still diddly to the touch. And I know they're not my own, as I share them with the masses. They are everywhere I go. People wear them on their faces, but I love the sound coming out of this old-time radio. What's this sensation that's making its way into the station? Could it be that motivation that I keep hearing so much about? All this commotion from this runaway locomotion. I try to focus in, but instead I'm tuning out to the sound coming out of this old-time radio. A dying sound our future children may never know. Now we know where to begin. Sometimes the hardest part of starting out is jumping in, but the morning always comes after a night that always came. So get up, oh, and get out. Welcome today. Welcome I got problems, but they don't amount to much.
like wrapping up these words that have been haunting me for months. But I don't wanna sing too fast, 'cause I know this song won't last. And when the moment's past, oh, there won't be nothing left but the sound coming out of this old-time radio. The sound coming out of this old-time radio. The sound coming out of this old-time radio. 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 The sound coming out of this old-time radio.
And we're back. And we have 50 viewers right now. This next song I wrote for the moon landing of our generation. We played this song a lot when we traveled around, our little traveling spectacular. But this song is called Feel Sunlight Burn. In the fall I was a sinner, in the spring I was a saint. That snow seemed to fall forever, and the flowers bloomed too late. Round the way you said you loved me wouldn't mean that much to some, but I love yous don't come often, at least not for everyone. But I've been walking down the soles of my shoes, and I've been going out at night till the hour that I choose. And I don't ever ask for nothing, and I get nothing in return, 'cause I've been walking just to feel sunlight burn. All the poets fill the spaces where the silence used to be, and the painters show us places beyond what our eyes can see. Guys like me will always write our songs of living on the run, but these songs don't come too often, at least not for everyone. But I've been walking down the soles of my shoes, and I've been going out at night till the hour that I choose. And I don't ever ask for nothing, and I get nothing in return, 'cause I've been walking just to feel sunlight burn. Ooh, There are stories that are worth telling that you'll never hear me tell, things that I am not too proud of, things that I have not done well. I wouldn't say I was a boy who became a man in that lonely place. I'd say I was a man already, now with more wrinkles on his face. And I've been walking down the soles of my shoes, and I've been going out at night till the hour that I choose. And I don't ever ask for nothing, and I get nothing in return, 'cause I've been walking. Oh, I've been walking just to feel sunlight burn. Whoa, 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 whoa. Moving on. So, This Time It's Over was written about a relationship that came to an end eventually. And New Eyes is about the aftermath of that relationship and finding myself in a new relationship with you know who. And when I was getting out of that relationship, like many people, when they get to a point where their relationship is falling apart, especially if it's a relationship that has lasted for, a while at least, sometimes the relationship ends because of one defining event, but oftentimes it's just, you guys either grow apart or just personalities, wear on each other until the relationship just falls apart. And for this relationship, it really was the latter. And so when I was out of this relationship, I definitely felt like there were parts of my personality that because she didn't like them, I thought that they were unlikable parts of my personality, and I thought that perhaps there was, unlovable parts of my personality that was going to inhibit me from ever getting into another relationship of any sort of substance again. And, I was being a little melodramatic probably, but most of us who have gone through similar situations have probably felt the same. I don't think that it's that strange of a thing to feel. But not long after getting out of that relationship, I found you know who, and she, it turns out that a lot of the personality traits that I thought were unlovable were the things that she loved about me the most. And, so don't let other people's depictions of who you are define how you give yourself to other people, because it might not be right for some, but it is right for the ones that are out there that eventually you will probably find. And now Kiki and I have been together for so long that there are probably certain parts of my personality that bug the hell out of it, but they don't outweigh the parts that she loves, as of now. And hopefully that will last. I think it will. It gets cold in the morning, and the coming dawn's most desperate of all. Doubled over in pain, I held you like I'd hold a dying animal. And underneath every comfort, there's a sinking feeling an ending is to come. So enjoy it while it lasts, they say, as if they aren't so terrified themselves. But boy, I've got new eyes for you. They shake and they burn more than you're used to. But when all is in focus from your new point of view, oh, show, I've got new eyes for you. When she left, the burning embers, they sat and smoldered through the hours of the dawn. So keep that fire burning, I may join you when the rain begins to fall. But boy, I've got new arms for you. They grab and they swing more than you're used to. When you pull yourself up to your new point of view, oh, show, I've got new arms for you. Can't live a life without intention, an idea without invention. Set yourself back up for failure, like a sedentary sailor. Waves of emotion keep that water flowing, while the heart and mind are slowing. Sunlight burning through the window curtain, when hope is lost, the end is certain. So keep on, keep on, keep on moving on. Oh, keep on, keep on, keep on moving on. Oh, keep on, keep on, keep on moving on. Oh, keep on, keep on, keep on moving on. Whoa, whoa. But boy, it's a new time for you. Time to move away from all you've come so used to. And when you made your way up to your new point of view, you'll know it's a new time for you. Fun fact about the writing or the recording of that song is I recorded that at DigiDesign, and I tried to do it to a click track and record the guitar separately and do the vocals, and it just wasn't working, and it just felt so sterile and wasn't coming out exactly the way that I wanted it to. And so I was just like, screw it, set up 2 mics, and I'm just gonna do it live, And so I played one version of it, and that was the version that made it on the album. and I could tell that it was a good version because when I looked at the control room, Tara had tears in her eyes. So I was like, all right, that's the one. We'll keep that one. And she was like, I think so. So that was just a live recording done right then. And I'm really glad I did it that way. And actually, funny enough, this next song was done exactly the same way. I did it completely live. Read some of these comments here. You know, Tyler brings up a good point. He's like, the recorded version of this one is great, but man, the live in concert rendition with the full band is just something else. Yeah, when we was the way it explodes at the end with the full band was always so fun. But I don't know if Tyler, if you were at the show we played, the Halloween show that we played at the chapel one year, we did a minor key rendition of New Eyes that was badass. Remind me, Tyler, I'm gonna send you that minor key version of New Eyes. I think I have a recording that we did at Dave's house one time where we were just sitting around on the couches and recorded on somebody's phone, but it turned out real good. I'll send you a version of that. I feel like you guys are commenting a lot this week. I love it. So for the origin of this song, I'm going to pass it off to my dad because when I wrote this song, I wanted to write it about my namesake, my great-grandfather, Samuel Chase, and his story of coming to this country. Now, I wrote the song and I performed it for my dad, and my dad said, "That's not how any of that happened. And you're missing out on the most romantic parts of the story." And I was like, well, God damn it. And so he told me the actual story and all the parts that I got wrong. But rather than bore you with the parts that I got wrong, let's just hear the actual story from my dad.
So Sam told the story of his great-grandfather in his song Lady Liberty. The true story is like this. Sam Chase, born Sedya Dov Cheyasin, came to the United States probably at the end of the 19th century. He disembarked in Boston, and he only spoke Yiddish. He didn't know Russian, he didn't know English, and he was seeking directions to a relative's house. And he found an Irish cop who knew this Jewish gentleman, Mr. Gordon, who owned a dry goods store. And he took my grandfather to that dry goods store, and they understood where he wanted to go. And Mr. Gordon sent his daughter to take my grandfather to where he was going. So he established himself in America, and he established an umbrella factory. And in those days, umbrellas were fashion accessories.
beautiful handles that were carved or ivory, wood, and just beautiful and beautiful fabrics in the umbrellas. And it was a big business, and he became fairly wealthy. He fell in love with his secretary, and he wanted to ask her for her hand in marriage. When he went to meet her parents, he comes in and he starts laughing. And my grandmother's father said, "Well, what's so funny that you find that you laugh at me?" And he's saying this in Yiddish, probably. And my grandfather says, "Well, it's just that when I came to this country 20 years ago, you sent your young daughter with me to show me where I was going. And by happenstance, I hired her when she was grown up as a secretary in my business, and I fell in love with her. And I would like to ask you for her hand in marriage." And that was my grandmother, Lillian Gordon, who became Lillian Chase. And that's the story of Lady Liberty.
Stephen Chase, everyone. Here I hit the eastern seaboard. I felt younger than I ever have before. I figured 2 months at sea had hardened me, but I found the water was still softer than the shore. I don't know what it brought me to that place, land of the angry and disgraced, where no one thought that good behavior'd ever get you to your savior. 2 feet above the ground was man's only reward. Dark streets of poverty, take me in and carry me, and show me what I need to make my own. Show me what I need to make my own. I spent enough time just trying to get by, with odd end jobs that kept me up all day and night. So I made my way to Massachusetts with nothing but sea salt in my pockets, and a dream that seemed to fade every time I woke. And it's about that time you came into my life, and not long after you agreed to be my wife. You saw me for what I am, which was not a wealthy man, but since that day I've been the richest man alive. Dark streets of poverty, take me in and carry me, and show me what I need to make my own. Sweet Lady Liberty, look at what you made of me. Oh, you have no idea what harm you've done. You have no idea what harm you've done. Not much sense in dwelling on the past. My bones are brittle and as breakable as glass. Now I lie here in my bed, going over in my head all those things in life that I was told would last. So now I'm just living out my final days, and every chance I get put flowers on your grave. Now that I am an old man, I'm older than I've ever been.
getting older by the minute, I've been told. Dark streets of poverty, take me in and carry me, and show me what I need to make my own. Sweet Lady Liberty, look at what you made of me. Oh, you have no idea what harm you've done. You have no idea what harm you've done.
Kiki the cat, everyone.
I can't believe you're still going.
It's only 4:45. I've only been going for an hour and 45 minutes. Got to finish this album. You can move some of those guitars back. You can push them against each other. Yeah, just give it a shove.
Finishing this album, are you recording it live right now?
Well, I'm live streaming it.
Oh, this is an album.
Yeah. Have you've been watching the show? I'm
Yeah,
doing
but
the
just
whole
in
album.
background. Oh, you finished that album. I get
Yeah.
you. I didn't know what you meant. 'Cause I came in there the other day and you were actually recording.
Yes. Oh, we got the whole family in here. We got Copernicus Butterscotch in here. So moving on, we move to a song that I never thought I would play again. Wasn't necessarily my favorite song even when I wrote it. And this song was written, I was in New York.
Sorry.
I got a flow going here.
I'm looking here instead of up there.
You can look at whatever you want. You don't have to look straight into the camera. I'm not looking straight into the camera. I'm looking right below it. You don't have to look straight at the camera.
Good.
It's a bit off-putting,
It
I
is
think, for the
weird.
viewers when you are just staring at them. But I wrote this song. I was in New York City, and I was hanging out with my friend Shimmy, who was part of the traveling spectacular moon landing of our generation. And we were hanging out at his apartment. It was summer, I believe, in New York City, so it was unbearably hot. So during the hot hours of the day, we stayed in his apartment, which had air conditioning in his building. And one day, we decided to hang out and write a song together for old time's sake. We hadn't been in the moon landing of our generation. We hadn't played a show in a while because he had moved to New York. So we sat down and we wrote this story. First, we came up with the story, then we wrote the song. And the story we wanted to write was kind of a sea shanty-ish ballad of love lost. And we came up with this metaphor of a bed shaking in the eaves of a tree, and that bed is the ship on the sea. And this man trying to get home to his woman, and them never finding each other again. But
Woman.
a man and woman. There's a man and a woman.
It's just whenever anyone says that, you know, trying to get home to his woman, you know, it's like old lady, you know, this kind of thing. It also makes me think of Animal from, you know, the Muppets. Woman, woman.
So a man was trying to get home to a woman.
Partner,
Partner is such a gross.
his lady friend.
And this is an old-timey
wife.
song. An old-timey song. You don't know if they're... Oh, I guess they were married because
His
she was
long
wearing
lost
his ring when
love.
she died in
There
the
you go,
spring.
His fiancé. There's a lot of different. Woman. Sorry.
Do you want to describe what the song's about? Make it more poetic sounding?
It's a dirty song.
It's not a dirty song.
It's called Reunion Bed. I mean, what that says to me is like they haven't seen each other for a long
It was.
Knock some boots.
If they were to ever get back together, yes, that would probably be what would happen. But sadly, the end of this song, they miss each other like ships in the night, if you will.
That's so sad.
It's a sad song. It's not really. I didn't really care for the song when we wrote it. We put it on the album near the end of the album as kind of a thing, like maybe people will dig it, and we never played it. Like we toured the album and then never played the song again until these live streams here on during the year 2020.
It's a beautiful song.
It's all right.
So would you say it's an unrequited love song?
I'd say it is what's almost like a Shakespearean Romeo and Juliet type thing, where their
Or
love.
is it more like Jane Austen?
I don't know Jane Austen stuff is. I don't know, like a Pride and a Prejudice.
Wuthering Heights?
Well, isn't the Wuthering Heights? Isn't she like
She
crazy?
dead.
But isn't she
Well,
crazy?
they're both crazy because they're both mean to each other. But she's dead, and then her ghost comes back because in his heart he's still. I don't know. That was very dysfunctional.
He still pines over his dead woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, enough talking about other people's stories.
Oh yeah, the beloved.
His beloved. Yes, that's a good word
she
for it.
means the book, the story.
No, she's talking about how about his beloved.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, Star-Crossed Lovers is a good one.
Yeah, that's better than saying man
Love of
and
His
woman, I
Life,
suppose.
That's another good one. Oh, thank you. My hair. I've got a good second day curls going on today. I just hijacked your show. I'm sorry.
This is why we don't have guests. This is why we
I'm
don't.
gonna sing this song with you and then I'm gonna leave.
This is why we're not doing Zoom. All right, let's do this song.
Okay.
We got the whole family in here.
I need them lyrics though.
It's right here. Oh, wait. Here we go.
I need them.
There we go. You might have to. They're not perfectly written out, I think, so you might need to fudge some of it. Silence your phone.
My mom. My mom says, let the man tell the story. Stop interrupting him. Rude.
The man? Let the man tell his story? Not partner?
Rude. She called me rude.
Well, I didn't say it. He was away 10 years to the day his ship came to her on the main. But sure, not without cause. No, every man lost brave mates of his down to the end. And they made their bed in a magnificent tree. They rocked in the wind in their sleep. Together again, with the waves coming in, they rolled like a ship on the sea. She counted the days that he was away. For his sake she let her hair grow. The suitors they came to give her their name. She stayed true till the day he came home. And they made their bed in a magnificent tree. They rocked in the wind in their sleep. Together again, with the waves coming in, they rolled like a ship on the sea. She was wearing his ring when she died in the spring. He never had time to mourn at the loss of his wife. He took his own life, and by nightfall that day they were gone. Oh, and they made their bed in a magnificent tree. They rocked in the wind in their sleep, together again with the waves coming in. They rolled like a ship on the sea. Let's do it again. Oh, and they made their bed in a magnificent tree. They rocked in the wind in their sleep. Oh, together again with the waves coming in. They rolled like a ship on the sea. Oh, together again with the waves coming in. They rolled like a ship on the sea.
That's pretty good.
That's probably the best version of it that I've done in a very long time, thanks to you. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm gonna fade away.
My woman, everybody.
Woman! Woman!
Look out for the cat. Is he behind you?
No.
No.
All right. Bye, man.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye to Kiki.
Bye. Bye,
Wonderful
man.
job. Wonderful job. Bye, woman.
You're my man. My man.
Two more songs to go. I did this song a lot with the traveling spectacular moon landing of our generation. And when I wrote it, I wasn't really thinking about this, but it wasn't until we started performing it as a band that I started to think about maybe perhaps the audience was getting the wrong impression from this song, which was that I was wondering if maybe this song might give people the impression that there are religious connotations to this song, that somehow I'm saying, oh, thank God, thank the Lord, you know, and getting the wrong impression about me, because I'm not a very religious person. And it wasn't that kind of like, thank Jesus that I'm alive here today. It was more of a, thank God, after such a hard and crazy night of partying, that I've awoken to another day. But thank universe just doesn't really flow off the tongue, and I probably wouldn't say that anyways. As non-religious as I am, I do find myself saying, thank God, a lot. And I always wondered, like, when we would play this song live, if people kind of got that impression, and nobody ever brought it up. But for years playing this song, I think probably most times that I've played this song, I think to myself, I wonder if somebody is thinking to themselves, is he religious? Because when you listen to the lyrics, it's not necessarily a religious song, but I don't know that everybody listens to the lyrics other than the lyrics of the chorus. And the song is called Thank God. So I usually, or I always actually, in the set, when we would play this with the band, we'd play it after something like Down Below or Devil's Throne or Carry My Bones or one of those songs about the devil. And so I would always announce this next song as, so that last song there was about the devil. But this next song here is called Thank God. And this song is also about the devil. 1, 2, 3, 4, and start the song off. And I've said it so many times at so many shows over the years that people have, attended more than one of my shows at a time, and it got to the point where at least the front row was expecting the joke to come, and that they would shout it back at me during shows. And when we would play it out in places where people hadn't heard of us before, Ted would always kind of bust my balls about doing the joke over and over, night after night after night. But when we would play it in a town that we'd never played before, to people that had never met us before or seen the show, whenever I would say the joke and I'd see the audience laugh, I'd always turn back around during my 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'd be like, "Still works, Ted!" And then bam, and start the song off. And so I don't know once we start playing shows again if I'll continue that joke. Maybe I'll, I've had the time to come up with a better joke, but one has yet to show itself. But when I do come up with a better joke, I'll probably say to myself, "Thank God."
Oh, thank God. Thank God I'm rolling. Thank God I'm soaring straight on down the road. Oh, and thank God I'm still going. I still got some tread on this old land. I still got some miles to go. I got a penny to my name that I haven't spent yet. If it ain't there tomorrow, that could be a safe bet. But I got some big dreams at the end of this road, waiting for me on the beaches down in Mexico. I got nowhere to be, so I might stay for a while. And the devil's sitting with me, sitting with a senorita smile. Oh, thank God I'm rolling. Thank God I'm soaring straight on down the road. Oh, thank God I'm still going. I still got some tread on this old land. I still got some miles to go. I got a body in my pocket and a tune in my head, and from time to time I get to share a warm bed. I would say I'm pretty lucky, wouldn't say that I'm poor. With this face made of silver and this body made of gold. If you could lend me a prayer, man, I could lend you a hand. But if these women don't kill me, I will die a lucky man. Oh, thank God I'm rolling. Thank God I'm soaring straight on down the road. And thank God I'm still going. I still got some tread on this old land. I still got some miles to go. Oh, thank God I'm rolling. Thank God I'm soaring straight on down the road. And thank God I'm still going. I still got some tread on this old land. I still got some miles to go. And thank God I'm rolling. Thank God I'm soaring straight on down the road. Oh, and thank God I'm still going.
I'm rolling. Thank God I'm soaring straight on down the road. Well, thank God I'm still going. Still got some tread on this soul land. I still got some miles to go. Thank God. Bonnie, I do remember that Doug first show where I said that every single song we played was about the devil. There was another show, or maybe it was the same show, where I dedicated, I think it was the same show where I dedicated every single song to Louis Longmire because it was his birthday that day and he came to the show. So I said, this next song is about the devil and it's dedicated to a very wonderful man, and I'd milk it every song. I'd say something different about Louis Longmire to a wonderful man. Maybe you all know him. He's a wonderful friend, a fantastic guitar player, and your hometown boy. Give it up to Louis Longmire! And I'd do that every single song that we played that night. But I'd lead it up differently for Louis. And then at the end we brought him up and he played a solo. So this is the last song on the album, and this is, after this song, this is where I will leave you, because I'm hungry. It's time to get my weekend started, and also it's time to finish the recordings for this next album. So if you're on Patreon, you will be getting this album. If you're not on Patreon yet, you're not going to ever hear this album. So you got to get on Patreon, and everybody that's on Patreon is going to get this album. So sign up for Patreon. But this last song was definitely part of the traveling spectacular moon landing of our generation. And I wrote this song about being a musician on the road, being one of those hard-living road dogs, and as how I was built for the road. I dream of home, but I live on the road. And I dream of home, but I live for the road. And I wrote this song about that, and I had never been on tour before when I wrote this song. And I wouldn't say that I was necessarily a road dog so much at that point, but I dreamt of someday perhaps, hopefully being a road dog like the one that is mentioned in this song. And lo and behold, I did. And I gotta tell you, I love it. I love being on the road. I knew I would love it. It's the only time when we get in the van and we hit the road, that feeling of freedom, that feeling of like I'm going in the right direction, you know? Like the world is spinning, and as long as the world's spinning, you feel like you're going in the right direction. Like when I'm driving down the road, that's when I truly feel that the direction that my life is taking, at the speed that it is going, is exactly the direction and speed in which it should be going. You know, when I'm sitting here, well, I mean, this feels good, but you know, when I'm sitting here perusing Facebook or watching the news or watching TV and not really getting anything done, there's a stagnation that it nags at me and it piles up. And when you hit the road and when you're headed towards a destination to play a show, to entertain people, I truly feel like I'm heading in the right path. This song, yes, was a bit preemptive in its creation, but I knew that eventually I would get there. But looking back and singing it, it does feel a little silly. I've been looking for home since the day I was born. But all that I've found is the long open road. It has seen me this far, and it'll see me much more. But it sure ain't no mother, and it sure ain't my home. Oh, my blood starts to flow as I put it in drive. There's no better feeling than feeling alive. Out on that horizon, on the day that I die, you can scatter my ashes where ashes can fly. Pass down the road, no reason than just breathe in the night air and feel the lights flashing past. Till I find a nice hole that serves alcohol, with a man at the piano who's got a hell of a soul. His songs are all torture, and his cup's always full. His face tells a story that should have ended a long time ago. There are miles in his music, and there are worlds in his woes, but I'm just not quite there yet, so I head for the door. Oh, my blood starts to flow as I put it in drive. There's no better feeling than feeling alive. Out on that horizon, on the day that I die, you can scatter my ashes where ashes can fly. Say, oh, 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 and I see the city as I come over the hill. The best thing in my pocket is a $10 bill. If I can make it a million, if I could stand still, but the road won't stop calling till I get my fill. I stare back down the road at the choices I've made, and how the ones that I've met are now the ones I've betrayed. So I pick up my sack, turn my back on the past, 'cause there's no sense in turning when there's no turning back. Oh, my blood starts to flow as I put it in drive. There's no better feeling than feeling alive. Out on that horizon, on the day that I die, you can scatter my ashes where ashes Come on, everybody at home now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And that's the end of the album. The Sam Chase will lead us to victory. For sale online, or if you come to my house, or someday if you come to a show. Next week, I'm gonna play all the songs off of The Sam Chase Will Never Die. So everybody tune in next week, and I'll do that. I'm looking in the chat here. Yes, my friend Matt Eller got a giant chest piece tattoo with a big ship and clouds and everything and the ocean and a banner across his chest that said, "The body may rot, but the spirit won't die." So body may rot, spirit won't die across his chest. And I was touched, definitely touched. He was the first one of anybody to get any of my lyrics tattooed on them. And now that I've had a good handful, and every single time it's amazing to me. The most recent one where a couple of guys got the untraditional tattooed on their legs. I was like, my God, that's so cool. If anybody else wants to get a tattoo of a lyric or my face or knuckles or anything, I'll give you a sweatshirt for free that you can cover it with. Ah, Gutter, you just showed up. We're just finishing. So, a reminder, if we make it to 150 Patreon patrons, I'm going to make a new run of vinyl for The Sam Chase Will Never Die. If we make it to 200, I'll do a run of Will Lead Us to Victory or Great White Noise. Well, I'll have to do a poll for that one because we are sold out of both of those. But yeah, that's the end of the show for this week. I'm trying to think if there's any other business that I have to take care of here to remind you of anything. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you have notifications of whenever I upload a video or whenever I go live. A subscribe button, I think it's probably like right here or something down there. And yeah, The Sam Chase Will Never Die next week. I'll upload that minor version of New Eyes to the Patreon as well. And only the Patreon patrons can hear it. So you got to join Patreon if you want to hear that version of the song, as well as all the other cool little perks and things, and the 2020 album of songs that I wrote during 2020. Yeah, that's a good idea, Carrie. Let's check how many Patreons we're at now. We're at 125 Patreon patrons. I lost 3 recently, so we were at 125, went down to 122. Now we're at 125 again. We got 25 to go. That means if all of you here can just get one person to join this Patreon and tell them like how cool it is, we'll be well over 150. But they got to stay. They can't just like bring up the tally and then leave. They got to stick around and they got to enjoy and participate. So get your friends on board. Show them the music. If they like the music, show them the Patreon and just be like, let's all hang out. You could like hang out with the dude every Friday at 3 p.m. How cool is that? All right? So a little bit of homework and it'll all pay off and we'll all get some cool vinyls from it. But thanks everybody for hanging out. That was a lot of fun. And let's do it again next week. Oh, and pay attention too, because I'm going to be doing some live streams during the week of me recording songs and laying down tracks and all that stuff. So I'll leave you with a music video. What should I leave you guys with today? Well, considering the state of our nation and how our lowest point during these 4 years, I feel like we've reached the bottom of the barrel. I feel like we've gotten to our lowest point, and there's only up from here, you know. And if only there was a phrase for what that lowest point is. Oh, you know what? I think I wrote a song about it. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you next week. Oh, leave a tip. Leave a tip. Venmo, PayPal. I'm going to get a new mic, and it'll sound way better next week if you leave a tip. So hopefully I'll be able to afford it by the end of this show. Good night, everybody. That wasn't the one I was talking about. I was talking about this. One, two, three, four.
Oh, we've all got our problems, we all have pockets to fill. We got our grocery lists and things we've missed to pay, our cell phone bills. I spend my nights on the bar scene where my friends bartend, so I drink for free till the world starts spiraling and I'm poured into the street. And I can see it all go down from the lights of this town. It is lighting my descent and all the times that I have spent misunderstood. Rock bottom never felt so good. Maybe I should start this over, maybe try doing it sober. Swear tonight will be the night that I will not wake up hungover. But all of a sudden the sun is rising, and it's not very surprising that I'm lying on the roof, drinking Jack and railing lines. And I can see it all go down from the lights of this town. It is lighting my descent and all the times that I have spent misunderstood. Rock bottom never felt so good. Rock bottom never felt so good. Whoa. They say you can't do this forever. I don't intend to prove them wrong. But you know, even the longest lives don't really last for very long. So I'll live it while I've got it. What I've got, I'm living fine. But when you tell your kids your stories, you know they'd all rather hear mine. 'Cause I've seen the sunrise from a million different